Hey, Steve here. Hey, last time I talked about the whole deal of the rescue on the beach, which was really an interesting thing that I went through and learned some lessons from it. A cool thing is, and one of the things I mentioned in the video was basically I went through a self-defense course, and the reason why I went through a self-defense course is because I drove home one day and there was SWAT outside my neighbor's house, full-drawn guns, everything happening. They pull out a bag with a gun, a big rifle, and my next door neighbor went away for 6 months and didn't return. So anyway, it got me thinking that I probably needed to do a home defense course. And in the course, I learned 4 principles of defense. And the first level of defense is where most people in America live. They live in unawareness, totally unaware of what's going on in their surroundings. The second level is awareness. The third level is alert. And then the fourth level is alarm. And in the defense course, it was interesting because they told a story about a lady who basically, she lived in Kettering, and she drove to Big Lots, and she went into Big Lots, bought her stuff, she came out, and she was texting as she was walking to her car. And when she got to her car, she jumped in and continued to text. The bad guy jumps in, shoves her over, takes off down the road, and the lady screams. He wrecks the car. She jumps out, and they eventually caught the guy. But the lady was left traumatized. She's smarter and wiser now. She took a concealed carry course, and she learned a really hard lesson, and the lesson of being aware. And really being aware of our situations and circumstances really help us to key into what God's saying to us as we do everyday life. Patty and I, we went to the Phrase one summer to watch Blues Fest, and we were hanging out at Blues Fest, and we decided we'd get something to eat. So literally we went to every barbecue place that was on the grounds at the Phrase, and we're walking up to the last barbecue place, and there's a lady there, and I had a whisper in my heart that said, tell this lady that her future is going to be better than her past. And I'm processing this. I'm walking up there and saying, how am I going to tell this lady that her future is better than her past? And I'm trying to get clues. So I'm looking. I'm trying to notice what's going on. I see she has a couple of tattoos, normal looking lady. And then I look down and I notice she had an arrest monitor on her ankle. The word made total sense. And so I'm processing how I'm going to share the word with her. So I simply paid for my meal, and I said, hey, by the way, sometimes I get encouraging words from Jesus, and I have an encouraging word for you. And she looked at me, and I said, Jesus wants you to know that your future is going to be greater than your past. And I held her arm and began just to talk to her about her destiny and how she was created for good things in her future. And this is just a moment in time where she's passing through some rough stages, etc., etc. Anyway, I then just asked the Holy Spirit, come Holy Spirit. And she said, you're making me cry. I said, well, I'm not making you cry, but I know the one who is, and his name is Jesus. And 35 years ago, I was a heavy drug user, and Jesus changed my life, and he wants to change your life. So anyway, we paid for our food, and we walked away, and then Patty asked me a question. She goes, Steve, how in the world do you do this? I notice that you do this all the time. And I told her, I said, the first step in helping people is, number one, to become aware that you are unaware. Isn't that amazing? Become aware that you're not aware. And what happens when you begin to process that in your own life, what happens is then you become more aware of what's going on around you. And then you begin to notice things. And then if you have one ear toward heaven and one ear toward yourself in the situation, sometimes God will give you a God prompt. He'll whisper to your heart to say the right thing, or to pray a prayer for somebody, or to encourage somebody. So that's the first step, is moving from unawareness to just simply being aware. Anyway, I would encourage you, practice. Practice doesn't make you better, but practice certainly makes you better. That didn't make sense. Practice, that doesn't make you perfect. What happens is practice makes you better. I'm practicing, folks. See you later.